black fatherhood all the time.
So it must be black fatherhood all the time. When you say black fatherhood all the time, what comes to mind? Total 100% dedication to raising your children. It's definitely a part of the excellence of black people to be able to raise up the next generation. Unfortunately, I never got to learn. And when I think about the number one lesson I learned from my father, there wasn't any to be taught. My father died before I turned 3, so I never actually had him. I had to find a bunch of surrogate men to fulfill those things. So I learned fellowship, generosity, hard work from people that I glommed onto. Hard work and dedication is definitely the number one thing. Whether you are great at something doesn't matter. It matters most that you get things done to the best of your ability. One of my favorite fatherhood memories is, I think it's important for you to provide security and a safe space for your children. And when my daughter was younger, like, she was 2, 3 years old, whenever she came across an adult that she wasn't sure about, she either made sure she pointed me out in the room or came stand right by to me and tell everybody, that's my daddy. To me, that means she understood I was a place of security. And if something was gonna go wrong with that person she wasn't feeling comfortable about, I was the one coming for them. She wanted them to know that. So my thoughts on fatherhood. I think it's important that you are there, present. I always thought it was definitely necessary that you were around and understood what was needed from your children, right? So if you're just kind of being there is one thing, and then the next level is trying to interact with them and engage them, get total engagement. It's one thing for us to talk at our children. It's much better for them to talk back. And if we understand through engagement, we understand that we're not always right. There are times where we have to say sorry. There are times where we can learn from them just as much as they're learning from us. We gotta remember, in every relationship is about personal growth together. So if we continue to grow together, then we'll be better together. And that's how you raise more well-adjusted people who can then go on and further that on in the next generation. You know what? I think we need to stop owning the negative stuff that's said about us and really continue to exemplify the positive. I know more black fathers than, now my generation, the generation right before me, right after me. We're all actively engaged in our kids' life, whether we're with the mother or not. We always are trying to strive to be a part of that. And the narrative still exists, though, that we're not around or people grow up without them. And I really think that it's not as pervasive as they want us to believe it to be. So we really need to start stamping it out and continue to show these images of brothers taking care of their children. Black fatherhood all the time. It's more than necessary. It's a requirement. The children did not ask to be here, so it must be black fatherhood all the time for our black babies.